Hi guys, it's Sabrina. So today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about residency interviews, my experience, couples matching, and all that fun stuff. I know there has been a couple changes since I interviewed for residency about 2 years ago. I know someone was telling me now that you're actually able to select which your top programs are and which regions you really want to go to. That was not something that we had back when we first started. I think it is something new because I heard there was a lot of interview hoarding by people, so that might be why they're doing this. I'm not sure, but back when I was applying it was not a thing. When we first started with the virtual interviews, we were able to apply anywhere, everywhere. We weren't able to really tell the programs if we had a preference of where we wanted to go, so I think it's kind of cool that you can do that. Maybe that will help you out more with where you want to end up. I know that a lot of people actually ended up staying at their home programs during our first virtual interview, and I think that happened because, you know, the programs that we were applying to didn't know us. You know, they only knew us from what they read on paper and what they saw in interviews. We weren't able to actively go there. They weren't able to see us in person, see us interact with them, with their fellow residents. We weren't able to do away rotations to prove that we really wanted to go there for them to see what kind of a person we were. So I feel like a lot of people did end up staying at their home programs that first year of virtual interviews. When we first started the virtual interview process, it was the first time it had ever happened, so it was really new to everyone. We were told to apply to a little bit more programs than we normally would, which makes sense. So I did end up applying to quite a few more programs than I normally would have. I think I applied to 60, but I also was couples matching, so that made it a little bit more difficult in that I had to apply to more compared to other people that weren't couples matching. So with the couples matching, I did end up applying to a lot more programs. Corey ended up applying to a lot of programs too because he was interested in doing plastic surgery, which was very competitive at the time. And you know, we did try to help each other out. If one of us hadn't gotten an interview to the specific program, either when we were interviewing with that program, we would mention that our significant other was interested in also couples matching or was couples matching and would love to be able to get an interview but hadn't gotten it yet, or we would email the program. That's what I recommend you do if you are couples matching, is just advocating for your partner. It's hard, you're really putting yourself out there, and but you know, these programs understand that you without your couple is not a thing. So if they really want you, if they really like you, they understand that you really want to be with your couple, they're going to reach out to the you know, plastic surgery department for you and help you get an interview for your partner. So it's a lot, especially from us. We're pretty introverted people. We really had to put ourselves out there, be more extroverted to help each other out. I ended up only doing, I think, 21 interviews out of the, I think I got 30 invites. So I did get half of the invites. I got exhausted at one point and I was like, I can't do anymore. And I also had known that Corey hadn't gotten an interview at these other places. So I was like, there's no point in me doing an interview here if Corey doesn't even have an interview. The tricky part with Corey and you know, couples matching with him is he actually didn't find out if he had interviews until December 4th. So I had to do a lot of interviews before him, and I did a lot of interviews that were actually a waste of an interview because Corey didn't end up getting an interview there as well. So that might happen, just putting it out there, especially if you're the couple that is matching in primary care. We get our interviews really early. We start in October, November, December, and then January, February is the last trickling ones for us. We usually get our invites in the beginning. So he found out in December what interviews he was gonna get, and you know, they give all their interview dates on that one day, so we knew from the get-go how many he had. I think he had 10 interviews maybe, which to me sounded extremely low and was concerning, but apparently that's normal for competitive specialties. You only get a small amount of interviews. And I think this was also when we started learning about the interview hoarding, because there was people out there that were getting tons and tons of interviews because they were at the top, and whoever was at the top was getting all these invites. So they had 20 interviews, and then whoever was in the middle had I don't know, 10, and then at the bottom they had 1. So I think that's what started this whole concern about people hoarding interviews. In regards to how many interviews you want to do, it's kind of up to you. If you are a couple, I feel like you're going to do a lot more than if you're not a couple. If you're not a couple, I think doing like 10 to 15 interviews is good, especially if you're doing primary care. Obviously, if you're doing a more competitive specialty, I would do every single interview you get, because you don't want to, you know, ruin your chances. When it comes to ranking the programs when you're a couple, so there's two different ways to do it. So you rank every program that you might have in common at the top usually, and then whatever else you're okay with, whatever else combo you want to do, you rank to. So let's say I want to go to Austin, Texas. Corey is going to go to Dallas, Texas. So we'll just rank those. They're not really in the same spot, but they're in the same state, so we'll rank them. And you just go through every single combination. And then at the bottom, you have the option of just ranking separate and not with your couple at all. This is a really difficult conversation to have. You have to sit down with your couple and you have to realize, you have to be okay with not ending up in the same state at all, and that's something you have to think about. Now, I'm gonna just be completely honest. I think me and Corey were insane when we applied. We did not want to rank any programs that were not close to each other, so we did it. So our rank list was a total of like 22 programs, which was 22 different combinations, which was pretty stupid. We did save a lot of money, but all the other couples did end up ranking like every single possibility, because if we hadn't matched at the same program, we wouldn't have matched. So I don't know what we were thinking. We weren't thinking. I would not recommend doing that. I'm very, very thankful that we did end up matching together and that what we did worked out, because that would have been extremely sketchy. So I don't know what was wrong with us. Anyway, don't do that. I would recommend ranking every single opportunity that is possible. But yeah, that's kind of how couples matching works. So key points: you want to reach out to programs and advocate for your partner if they haven't gotten an interview yet. You want to mention that your couple's matching with your partner in the interview, so that they know. You also want to do more interviews because you are couples matching, so you want to give you and your partner more opportunities. And then when you're ranking, you want to rank every single opportunity possible. I think that's basically it with regards to that. I actually really enjoyed virtual interviewing. I felt like I was just making a YouTube video. It was super chill for me. It was super comfortable and comforting. I know other people didn't really like it. I loved it. I was sitting in my home. I felt comfortable. I knew where I was. As an introvert, it's great just having to interact over the camera and not having to also interact in person, where you have to like go up to people and make conversation and seem interested. I don't like doing that. It's just like really hard for me to do those things. So I was super happy just being on the camera the whole time. But that's just me. Not everyone's like me. Of course, it was way harder to tell what a program was like virtually. Like, I did get to talk to the residents and the faculty, and you know, I got some vibes, but it's different when you're like sitting at a dinner table with them and like really chit-chatting, and you know, when you're actually touring the facility, getting to actually see the hospital, see the clinic. It's really different. So I felt like we did miss out on a lot, which sucks. Also, like, not being able to see the area sucks, because you want to know where you're gonna go and where you're gonna end up. Like, you know, I interviewed in Kansas City and I was like, I'd never even been here. Like, am I gonna like it? I don't know. Me and my friends did end up doing like a 3-week road trip across the United States and did end up seeing a lot of the places we had interviewed at, which was a really great idea. If that's something you guys are interested in doing, I would totally recommend. I know they're still doing virtual interviews for quite a few specialties. I'm not sure if it's every specialty, but I know that family medicine still is. And then I know that away rotations are a thing now, so that's pretty helpful, like going on an away rotation and getting to actually see if you like the program or not, in the area or not. But yeah, when we did it, we didn't know, so it was kind of scary. Otherwise, you know, in regards to virtual interviews, you want to make sure you have a better background than this. You don't want it to be distracting like this. You want to have good lighting. You know, sometimes you'll be interviewing in the middle of the night, literally, because of East Coast hours or the opposite. So it could be 5 a.m. So you just want to make sure you know what your light situation needs to be like at 5 a.m. Sometimes you interview at 5 p.m. so you need to realize if there's going to be weird light streaming in from the sun setting at 5 p.m. So things like that is important to look out for. Obviously, like, I would look as nice as possible. I had never had anyone ask me to stand up, but I did wear leggings, which, you know, leggings is fine for a female, like it could look like professional clothing. But I would, yeah, I'd wear something really nice and I'd dress up for the interview. I think that's my biggest advice. And then practice, practice, practice. You're gonna get better and better with each interview. You know, practice the usual questions. They're always gonna ask you, why this program? Why did you want to go into family medicine? And then, like, do you have any career goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Stuff like that. They love those questions. Tell me about yourself is a big one too. So just get ready for a variety of interview questions. There's always going to be one that you didn't prepare for. Just do your best, answer it honestly, you know, to the best of your ability. They also love to ask about hobbies, so make sure when you write down all the hobbies that you do, they're all true and accurate and it's not something that you don't actually do. But I think that is mostly it in regards to my advice for couples matching, my advice for interviews. If you guys have any specific questions, please put them down below and I'll make sure to answer them for you guys. If you guys have any other videos you want me to make or talk about, let me know down below too, and I'll try to film something for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.